Perfect. All right, Dr. Staci here. So excited you guys decided to join us tonight. Obviously, I am joined here with my beautiful partial co-host, Charlene Cole, who is a president, Charlene Sailor. You know Facebook. You know how they put those names up there. Charlene Cole Sailor, who is a presidential director with LifeWave. We have a huge leadership retreat kicking off tomorrow morning. So Charlene and her husband Robbie came in early. We've been having a lot of fun, working on the way as we're building our business and doing all the things. But Charlene is joining us tonight. But I also have extra special guests joining me this evening. So you guys all know Laura Balzer. You know she's a senior presidential director in my organization, and she is going to be sharing here a little bit with you in a minute. Before we do, we have a special night planned for you. You know, you guys know me. Whatever gets downloaded into my mind to do is what I do. Whoever I interview, whoever I bring on, it is what it is. Whatever God says, do this, this is what happens. So I send out messages. So the other day I messaged Laura and I said, hey, I think we should interview some people that have fantastic testimonials. What do you think? We've never done this before. And she said, absolutely. I've got the people for you right now. And she started messaging me these people, and these three women have incredible testimonials. So Laura is going to take it away here in just a minute, and she is going to interview these women and their personal experiences with LifeWave technology. Then I'll come on a little bit later, and I'll share a little bit about how the tech works and what it could potentially do, right, based on all the amazing things they're going to share with you. And of course, then we'll have a little time for Q&A. But just know that tonight is a different format than we normally do, because we really wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to hear from these people that are experiencing huge success in LifeWave and LifeWave's technology. So Charlene and I are going to sit back, we're going to listen, we're going to enjoy hearing from Laura, sharing, listening, and interviewing these fantastic women. So Laura, I'm going to put you up here on the main screen. Go for it, girl. Take it
away. Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Staci and Charlene. We are so excited that you're here. This is such a treat. So we're excited that you're here. You guys are going to want to get a notebook and pencil or paper or pen or whatever your source of taking notes, because you're going to want to know who these women are, and you're going to want to write down the highlights of their journey with this incredible wearable light technology. So I want to introduce our first guest to you, Tammy Wilson. Amazing woman, has an incredible story. So Tammy, I just want you to pop on here, introduce yourself, let everyone know where you're from, and then give them that infamous snapshot on what life was like prior to starting and where you are now.
Okay, so I'm Tammy Wilson. I live in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which for those of you who don't know, a little bit north of Tulsa. What brought me here is a few years, well, I've had several cases of COVID. I'll start off by just saying that I was early in 2020, had my first case of COVID, and I've actually had 4 cases of COVID since then. But with each case, I was getting worse and worse. And I actually was placed on medical leave by my employer because I developed microvascular blood clots in my brain and in my lungs. Those blood clots interfered with everything. I mean, I had problems breathing. I had widespread pain. I had problems with my peripheral vision, so I was unable to drive for about 6 months. I had severe fatigue. I mean, I was truly napping 2 to 3 times a day, and then not sleeping well at night, just never sleeping well. My brain just felt crazy. I mean, I couldn't have a rational thought in my head. It was just a terrible thing. The brain fog was so severe, I wouldn't even call it brain fog. It literally felt like something was, altering the blood flow in my brain. But I started having cognitive difficulties. daily migraines, and life was just terrible.
And not to interrupt you, Tammy, but on everything that you've just described, I don't want to leave this out, which is a medical history of systemic lupus and asthma. On top of all of that, like, I think everyone needs to know that.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
That's incredible. Continue. I just want to make sure we got that in.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess I've always been immune compromised, and maybe that's why it hit me so hard when I had the cases of COVID. But one day I was on Facebook, and I actually saw a post that a friend of mine for many years had posted, and I kind of watched her for a little while, and I thought, okay, this couldn't be as good as she says it is. But I think at that point, I had almost lost hope. I was seeing 7 different specialists for everything that I had wrong with me, and I wasn't getting better. The medications they gave me would mask some symptoms, but then create new ones. It was a nightmare. So I called. I actually reached out to Lisa on Facebook and said, hey, I want to hear more about this, but I'm very skeptical because I just came from 18 years in the pharmaceutical industry. So I had a hard time believing that light therapy worked. So I ended up buying several months supply, and I thought, you know what? I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not getting better. This might be my last chance for hope. And, I kept getting this little tug from God to reach out to her. I mean, for months I had this little tug, and finally I did it. And I'm glad I did. Very first day I got the patches, I woke up with a migraine. I put the patches on the way Lisa described. I actually put on X39 and Eon. I put them on the way she described. And literally within 5 minutes, I could feel it working. I felt this weird sensation going up my neck. And I thought, oh my goodness, there's something going on here. And within a very short time, my migraine was totally gone. That night, I slept better than I had since 2019. And I thought, you know what? There's something to this. There's really something to this. Within my first month, all of my joint inflammation had disappeared and my chronic pain had stopped. I literally had pain and inflammation in every joint of my body. By month 2, my migraines were non-existent. I mean, these were migraines that would last for weeks on end. And, I couldn't even go outside. The entire month of July one year, I could not even go outside because between the heat and the light, even with glasses on, I couldn't stand the light. By month 3, my chest pain was gone. And one thing that I forgot to mention, and I apologize, because of everything going on, I actually had pericarditis. So the pericarditis was not getting better until I started the patches. So by month 3, my chest pain was gone, and I started exercising again, which I hadn't for a while because I was so weak. And my skin started looking better by month 3, which I was excited about, kind of a nice benefit there. By month 4, I was actually walking 3 to 5 miles a day, which was almost unheard of because of my difficulty breathing. And things just kept getting better and better. By month 6, my mental clarity had it was much better. I could actually multitask without forgetting what I was doing. And a month later, all of my neurological signs were gone, like all the tinglies that I had were gone. My migraines had, were gone a couple months before that, but and sorry, I'm trying to look at my notes too to make sure I'm not missing anything.
That's, you know what? I'm looking at them too. Go ahead. It's okay.
So I had a hip replacement in 2019, and I had some pretty severe nerve damage in my left leg. And I could start to feel tinglies around that incision where I had nerve damage by month 8. So I actually had nerves starting to reconnect. By month 9, I was feeling better than I had in years. Definitely pre-COVID, but I want to say that I felt better than I had in 10 years. And then month 10, I had a follow-up with the cardiologist. And when the cardiologist saw the patch on my neck and started inquiring, and I told him that it was a patch that increased copper peptide, his eyes lit up. And he said, Tammy, targeting peptides is the wave of the future. He goes, you keep doing what you're doing. But all of my cardiology things cleared up. My resting heart rate was really high post-COVID. It actually got to a normal level. My blood pressure was down. My EKG was back to normal. I mean, it was amazing. And the doctor was so happy that I had found these.
Wow. You know what? I've heard you talk about this. You know, we've talked about it. You've been on other calls. You've described all of this. And every time I hear it, it's just, it's amazing. But let's kind of, you know, you've now been patching for what, about 15 months?
15 months. Mm-hmm.
Right. And I love to point that out to everybody. And we'll also hear from the other ladies as well, is this is not an overnight thing, you know, and Dr. Staci, I know, is going to touch on that. It is something that progressively begins to give the body the opportunity to get back to doing what it did when we were younger. So through all this, obviously you're not able to work. Number one, that was incredibly difficult for you. So that's a loss. And I think a lot of people get pulled from that. But what I really want to hear, and hopefully other people are wondering, here you come from the pharmaceutical industry. And I am not banging on the pharmaceutical industry. There is a time and place for everything. Mm-hmm. Knowing what you know there, coming here and watching and feeling and experiencing what you did, where are you with all of that? Like, how has that transformed for you?
You know, that has transformed my thinking dramatically. I came from a career where, you know, of course, obviously, they create drugs based on diseases, and they weren't helping me. I mean, post-COVID, with everything I had going on, and they were throwing drug after drug after drug at me. I mean, I was literally at one point taking about 18 different pharmaceuticals in an average day. And I almost felt like I was getting worse than better. And, you know, my mom has always told me that God has everything that we need to heal here on earth. And I started thinking, you know what? Maybe my healing's not coming from a bottle. Maybe I need to be looking at something else. And that was why I reached out to Lisa to begin with. And I'm so glad I did. Many of the friends and relatives and church members and, you know, the people I've gotten involved in this company, you know, they're also very grateful. And they came to me because they knew I came from a pharmaceutical industry, knew I was skeptical. And when they knew that I was supporting this much, they were like, you know what, I trust you. And I'm so glad that you're putting these videos on Facebook, because I would never have known. And at one point, my doctor, who's also a researcher for the pharmaceutical industry, my former doctor, actually told me that I would never work again, that I would probably never get better, because they had thrown everything at me that they could, and I wasn't getting better. And it kind of made me lose a little bit of faith in the way some people are treating. Because, you know, I saw what happened to me. And I know there are people in that situation.
Yeah, and I don't mean to interrupt. You know, I love that you said that. And I do want to preface this is, you know, we're here sharing this evening, you guys, with no intent to cure, diagnose, or treat anything anybody has going on. We always want you to seek the advice of your practitioners or your physicians or whomever. these ladies are here sharing their experience with this technology. And so I just want you guys to know to take everything, you know, and use it to the best of your knowledge to help maybe you have these results that Tammy's had. So Tammy, what's next for you? Like, here we are 15 months in. Are you ever going to stop patching? I always ask people that.
I don't foresee it. I mean, every month there is something new that's changing in me. And I'm about to turn 63 in another few days. And
Seriously?
I was looking at photos of myself from 10 years ago, and I thought, oh my goodness, my skin looks so much better than it did 10 years ago. And I was complaining because I need a facial really badly. And I thought, even without a facial, I look a lot better than I did 10 years ago.
Well, you're stunning and you look beautiful. And we're very grateful that you came and shared with us this evening. I know you have touched a lot of people in many different ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So Mariah Lee is joining us this evening. Mariah, I hope you are unmuted and ready to go, love.
I am unmuted.
There you are. You popped up on the screen. That's how I knew. So Mariah, just like Tammy, introduce yourself. Let everyone know, you know, where you're from. And again, you're going to share a little bit about yourself, but also your mom. Give us a snapshot into that. And then again, share where you are today.
Sure. I will try to keep it reduction sauce. Our lives are full of fun details, but yes, I'm here to talk about my experience as well as my mother's. We live in Aspen, Colorado, and I am currently living with them, so this is easy for me to do. I'll do me first because it's smaller, and then we'll go into mom, which I think is kind of the main event.
Beautiful.
I was introduced to the patches by a friend of mine who has a traumatic brain injury, and he introduced them to me because my mom has a traumatic brain injury. And this is her 9th year healing from that injury. Anyway, I told him that was very nice. What he was telling me about the patches sounded wonderful and almost like a miracle, too good to be true. And I was skeptical and I wanted to try them before putting them on my mom. We were very sensitive to what we introduced her to. So immediately and I'm 32 and my mom is 62. So, and we've been on the patches for 1.5 years now. So let's see, day 3 of wearing the patches, I just had this incredible mental and emotional clarity, and that's kind of loud. And the kind of mental and emotional clarity that I really have to work at. I have to meditate every day and do a lot of other things to obtain this kind of control and peace. And it just happened. It just came to me. Day 3 of wearing the patches, and I was like, oh my God. I can't live without this. And then I kind of got the bright idea to put them on my toe. I have arthritis in my big toe. I was a figure skater. I was a limo driver. I use my right toe a lot, and arthritis is in my family. Skip my mom, I have it. When I put the patches, I use X39 and Aeon on my toe. I don't feel any pain. The swelling goes down. I was at the point where I would have constant pain in my toe, whether I was walking or not. I am now to the point where I can wear the patches and maybe take a day or 2 off, not of my choice, but if maybe shipments get lost or something, I don't have to wear the patches every day. It doesn't hurt for those couple of days, walking and driving. So my arthritis is going away, it's reducing. And even though the X39 and Aeon are incredible, and I think everybody should be on them, the energy patches are my favorite. They're life-changing. I didn't realize how used to suffering I was until I tried the patches. And then, the X39, the Aeon, I was like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to feel good. And then I tried the energy patches and I was like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be normal. I woke up exhausted. By the time of 2, 3 o'clock, I was drowsy, nodding off, and just not really having energy. And could change my diet and definitely help my adrenals out a little bit, but it wasn't like a temporary fix. While I was on those programs, I would feel better, but then as soon as I would get off, I just exhausted. The energy patches are just amazing.
You know, I love that you mentioned I had gotten used to. I think so many people get used to their new normal. They just become accustomed in the manner in which they're living. That becomes the new normal, and it doesn't even face them anymore. And you're the perfect example of putting these patches on and going, wait a minute, I can feel better, right? Amazing, amazing. I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
So now we have your mom.
Yep. Now we have my mom.
Share a little bit
And
about your mom.
I think she's going to make an appearance, but as a background, she is. Do you want to just go, or I can? Do you want me to introduce you? Okay, I'm going to hand it over to my mom. So
Awesome, welcome.
I'm not dressed as nice as Mariah.
That, you know what, you're lovely.
Good job, Mom.
You're
However,
lovely.
I want to
Thank you for
say
sharing.
thank you. I have had a total of 9 major brain injuries, and I have survived 15 hours of carbon monoxide poisoning. And with the last one, I've had was having multiple seizures daily. And I am an alternative person. So when I went down with the last brain injury, was a freezer door actually slammed on my head. We were on a boat and I had my head in there and it slammed. So it actually got everywhere. Brain injuries are very personal because it depends on where you hit your brain. And then you act different. But I pretty much have covered everything. But so I'm alternative. Mariah started these patches and I was all just like, oh, I can't, I'm already doing a biofeedback machine daily. And she's just like, I was not sleeping. Well, this is what I needed to take to get to sleep. Most people take melatonin. And you take 5 to 3 grams. I was taking under my homeo, what is Dr. Lisa?
She's a functional medicine practitioner.
From her, it's a prescription. 51 milligrams was one of my chewables, and I was taking 10 of them. And then I was taking Good Night. I was taking, that's another form of GABAs, SAMIs, L-theanine, melatonin, and I was taking 6 of them. And I was sleeping when I started this. I was sleeping between 3 and 4 hours a night. And then Mariah gave me the patches in February.
Yep, February.
I'll never forget it because February. So then I was like I put one patch on and she's like, well, they said 2. So I do 2 patches of the night things.
Silent nights.
And I slowly but steadily, and actually faster than anything has done in this injury, because I went down in 2013, I was gaining 20 minutes, another 20 minutes, another half an hour.
Yeah, so
now I sleep about 7 to 8 hours a night. They still want me to get, 8 to 10 because that's what you need to brain. But of my Good Night that I was taking 8, I'm taking 2. And of the melatonin, they're called SLPs. When I was taking 10 of them, I'm taking 3.
Wow. Congratulations to you.
That's just, and I told her, kept telling her, I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to know nothing. Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to get on any calls. I don't want to hear anything. Don't, I just, and then she's like, okay, Mom, now you need this one. Now you need that one. Now you need this one. And so I'm taking the one back here, the one on my belly, the A's and the whatever. And I don't really notice anything like happening to me, but then I'm also taking what's that other one on my belly? Neurological. But when I don't put them on,
That's when you can feel it.
I cannot, I don't function. I'm like, oh my God, I don't function at like, I'm reverted and it's,
Right.
yeah. And then we do the energy patches too, which are kind of dangerous actually for me because I have the adrenaline. So we have a timer and I actually have to take them off around 4 o'clock
4 to 5, or she won't sleep.
or I do not sleep.
Well, and you're a little
The whole
sensitive in that
program on.
area, so that makes perfect sense to me that you would have to do that. So
So
Mariah,
I ran out of those energy patches and she didn't, we didn't have any more and I laid in bed for 3 days.
oh wow, wow. Now Mariah, you mentioned to me when we chatted about your mom and her seizures. Can you
Yes.
touch on that a little bit, Sylvia? Because I know that's something that affects a lot of people.
Yes.
What
it
do you
does.
want to know about the seizures?
Mom, let me recap. I would, because there's another woman going after us. I would really like to touch on one of the major reasons Mom was having so many seizures. Her brain was on overload, extremely stimulated and easily overstimulated. One of the main reasons was because she couldn't sleep. So when she started sleeping, she stopped having seizures. She went from having multiple seizures daily, then to weekly, then to
Now it's
weekly.
been months.
She's only had 2 seizures in the year and a half that
No,
you had.
just since this one. The last one was this winter.
Yes.
But we're going months in between where I
It's-
was doing multiple daily.
So she actually went a whole year without having a seizure.
Amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
I tracked it.
Wow. That's amazing, ladies.
Yes.
So
So it's incredible.
it is incredible. And I know that your story is only going to continue to grow. So with your permission, we would love for you guys to come back and share again, because I know it's only going to continue to get better, because this is all about a compounding effect, right? Day after day, week after week, month after month. And like many of us on here, year after year. But ladies, thank you so much for coming and sharing. And I know it's not always easy, but we do appreciate you greatly. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much.
You're
It's
very
like-
welcome.
Thank you for the patches.
Yes, you're welcome. So Miss Sylvia, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me, Laura?
I can hear you. You popped up on the screen. I can see you beautifully. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here on this platform to share. And thank you so much, Laura, for inviting me. And
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So just like all the other ladies, kind of the same roll through here. People want to know who you are, where you live. And then like the other guests, let us know a little bit what was going on prior. You have quite the story as well. And they're going to see you sitting here today. So I think that just speaks volumes. So you have the floor.
thank you so much. And Dr. Staci, I just want to let you know you're a hero in across the globe and in our group. And I just want to thank you and your whole team and LifeWave for allowing me to come here. And I'm praying and hoping that my story resonates with someone so that they can also have transformation in their life too. My name is Sylvia, and I live in San Diego, California now. And 7 years ago, I was a picture of health. I was loved by the National Forest here in California and also on the coast by San Luis Obispo, Mariah. And just trying to keep up with my 3 Weimaraner dogs, riding BMX bike, running 3 miles in 30 minutes. I was just loving life. I turned 50 and Mark and I, my husband, decided to go to Hawaii. And we just had a blast there. And when I came home, I said, I haven't had a physical or a checkup in years. And I turned 50, getting a little older. I should probably check it out. So I go to the doctor, everything looks fine. And she looked at her computer and she saw that I was due for a Tdap booster. And so I took it. Why wouldn't I? I'm a nurse, and that's what we're trained in school to do. So the next month was horrible. I felt like somebody put a blowtorch in my kidneys and were burning them up. I couldn't stay up. My eyelids were so heavy, I couldn't keep them open. I was in bed. I had almost got pneumonia, and a urinary tract infection popped up, and I went to the doctor. They just kept giving me antibiotics. And I decided to go outside and gave the horses some carrots. Well, all of a sudden my legs just gave out on me and I fell to the ground. And Mark saw me and told me, "Get up, honey, what's going on? I mean, we're not used to this. What is wrong with you?" And I just tried to get up and my legs wouldn't listen. They weren't working anymore. So I told him, I think I might be having a stroke. I don't know what's going on. So I had him put me in the chair to take my blood pressure. And all of a sudden I became limp and flaccid and I just slumped to the floor. And I could hear him on and off talking to the 911 operator. I was in and out of awareness. And it was just so scary. I was paralyzed. I was trapped in my body. And it was so devastating and scary. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't open my eyes. I just felt trapped in my body. All of a sudden, I wasn't able to move. And I had severe pain at the back of my head, neck, and spine. It hurt so bad. And my diaphragm felt like somebody was shredding it and just ripping it out and putting a tight tourniquet or belt around it and cinching it up. It was so hard to breathe. Mark said I almost stopped breathing. I guess I was breathing maybe 4 times a minute. Well, I was hospitalized about 2 weeks. They did multiple tests. My lumbar puncture showed terrible infection. My MRI showed spots on my brain, but the doctors were baffled. They didn't know what to do with me, and I didn't know what was going on either. I didn't connect the dots that that's what it could have been. So fast forward, I wasn't able to go to work. I was so short of breath. They put me on oxygen multiple times a day. I had a paralyzed vocal cord. I was so weak. I couldn't even stay up 30 to 45 minutes at a time, or I risked getting paralyzed. I kept getting paralyzed just from looking to the left, looking at lights. My diaphragm, if I accidentally touched it, I would go down and almost get paralyzed. It was just such a hard way to live, and we just didn't know what to do. And neither did the doctor. Um, Fast forward, I ended up with over 25 diagnoses, but the ones I want to focus on are chronic inflammatory reaction to the Tdap vaccine, fibromyalgia, periodic paralysis, and myalgic encephalomyelitis. And I feel the need to focus on this one because it's also known, a misnomer, as chronic fatigue syndrome. So even comedians and the media laugh it off. It's just constantly got a stigma. We're lazy couch potatoes, when in fact, there is of the brain and inflammation of the spinal cord, and it's extremely painful. Many practitioners tell you to go see a psychiatrist because it's all in your head because they don't know what to do with you. And it is so hard to be on this side of the healthcare. So, because I'm a nurse, and many patients have taken their own lives because they feel hopeless, helpless, and worthless. And their spouses have left them because they think they're just being so lazy and making it up. And simple things, it's called post-exertional malaise. It causes just like simple tasks like showering or standing to cook a meal can land you in bed for 2 to 3 days at a time. It is so horrible. It's very devastating and catastrophic. You have a stiff neck like meningitis and extreme weakness. There's a whole cascade of autoimmune diseases and issues where your body starts attacking itself. And so I started to research because I wanted to get better and I wasn't getting the help I needed. Studies have shown that these patients have energy 16 deviations away from normal. Exercise is actually counterproductive and causes us to relapse and go backwards. Many long haul patients. Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt you because I mean, you're on a great roll here. I have a quick question though. From the time that all of this started happening, you were in the hospital. How long from the time that you started did you find out about this technology? Oh, I can't hear you, babe.
7 years. I've been like this 7 years.
Wow.
7 years.
7 years. And so it's been 7 years and you're like, you have a plethora of things that you're trying to figure out, things that are happening to your body. You're doing the research. How did you come about this? Like, how did you find this? Who is your angel? Because there is an angel out there for you for sure.
She is. Her actual name is Jan Angel Kennedy. That is her maiden name, is Angel.
And she introduced you to this technology. So what did you think being a nurse, just like Tammy, being in the industry? What were your thoughts? And I know you put it on your body.
Yes, actually, I asked Jan. I'd never met her before. We met at church, Awaken Church here in San Diego, and I was feeling like God called me to start getting out more to try to volunteer at the front desk at church. So I asked Jan, I go, I heard that you're part of this team. Can you please help me? Because you can hear my voice. It's just horrible. I mean, it's better now. And in 10 minutes, my voice actually came back. I had to put the patch on the back of my neck. And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, is this finally, it was just like miraculous, Laura. I could not even just, Mark and I, well, he just stepped over here for a minute, but we were just so elated. I was like, wow. But I have to say that so many times we've done holistic therapies and it's been a roller coaster. We've gotten excited after, say, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and that helped me for 2 or 3 days. We're like, my voice came back. And then 2 or 3 days later, it's like, wah, 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 there we are again.
But
So
did
this
you
one,
find that here? Did you
so
find
I've
that here?
I've been on this for 4 months now. And I am actually getting stronger. My brain is starting to reconnect. My neurons and everything are benefiting from this. I'm getting stronger, and my fibromyalgia, I can actually touch my legs. I wasn't able to do that before. If I touch my diaphragm, I don't get paralyzed. I'm touching it right now. And it's just been such an amazing, amazing miracle. I am just so excited to share this. And actually, I wasn't able to talk for most of that 7 years. And so my friends know I always text them. So when I pick up the phone to call them, they're like, Sylvia, your voice, what is this going on? And then, of course, they end up signing up. Most of them are on this call, cheering me on. And oh my gosh, Laura, it's just been so amazing and exciting.
Oh my gosh, 4 months. And when I listened to you describe what was going on, I'm sure like the almost 500 people on here tonight have done that. And to see you sit here 4 months in, and we all know, because Dr. Staci is going to head that direction here shortly, but we know that it's 1 month's use for every decade of life. Now, Sylvia, you haven't shared your age. However, with what you were experiencing to be where you are sitting in this chair, you look lovely. You look beautiful. You can tell that
I'm
the
57.
information
I'm
is
57. And actually, Tammy, yeah, I wanted to mention something about Tammy with her with her COVID.
yeah.
I also had my white blood cell count in the trash for 7 years. So when I got COVID, it took me 3 months to get better. 2 months after being on the patches, I had them take my lab work because they do it every 3 months anyway because of my crucial situation. And my white blood cell count went from only 3.2, it's now 7.4. I am like, what in the world? This is just so amazing. Thank you, Jesus. It's so
Well, and you and Mark are very active people. So just in this 4 month period, are you starting to get back to your activities? Because living life is what it's all about. Like name one or two things that you're getting back into that you haven't been able to do for the last 7 years.
well. I haven't driven at all since February of 2018. My husband's coming in because he's probably got to add to this. Since 2018, February. And I was able to drive after being on the patches about 3 weeks for 5 minutes. And that was just like, woo, let's go. And Mark was my coach. This is my husband, Mark.
Hi,
Thank
Mark.
God. Thank you for staying with me and not leaving me for somebody better, because that was a long, horrible, devastating 7 years to go through this.
Yeah. Well,
So
you have to have a loving, supportive person in your life when you do that. And he's obviously a blessing to you.
Oh, for sure. So now tell them what else. No, you go ahead. Tell them I have the gift of gab now because girls speak 50,000 words a minute or something like that. 7 years to make it up, baby.
But I'm gonna let you go a couple more minutes because we want to give Dr. Staci about her
Yes.
routine as well. So go ahead. What would you share, Mark? What stands out to you about your beautiful wife?
Well, it's been working for me too, but you know what? We've always been active. Like you said, she was dancing a couple times. She hasn't danced in 8 years. And I'll just leave it at this. For 7 or 8 years now, I've been her caretaker and hauling her around everywhere, in either a walker, wheelchair, whatever, or using my arm. These last 3 months, I can't keep up with her.
I love
Can't
that.
keep up with her.
I love
I'm
that.
getting there. Time, one day at a time. Thank you, Jesus. So he upholds me with his righteousness.
No,
And thank you, David Schmidt, for saying yes, because he could have said no, then where would we be? So please, everyone that's on here, share this with somebody that you love. What if this little patch works for them? What if? you can make a
I
difference.
love that. Well, Sylvia, you've been doing this, like I say, and I keep repeating, for only 4 months. So you know you will definitely be invited back because it's just incredible. And Staci's putting your pictures up here, and that's tremendous. I mean, you guys can see, I mean, Sylvia, I'm gonna let you describe this picture, but there you are with your mountain bike, obviously when you were down.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually a Lance Armstrong style bike.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, we would ride 30 miles per hour on those up at the Sequoia National Forest. And the one below that is my eyes rolling back in my head because I told Mark to start taking video and footage because the doctors, some of them just didn't believe me. And so that right there, I'm going into paralysis episode where my eyes are starting to roll back and it looks horrible. It's death. It's like death. I've been to Heaven's Gates 3 times. I'm telling you, I'm here for a purpose, and I am telling everybody, baby, because this works and it's helping give hope to people.
Well, we are so grateful for you sharing tonight. And then here is the video that you sent Dr. Staci. She's going to play it very quickly. Now, how many, like when you had the initial onset of this, how long was it
That
in?
video, I was going to say that video right there actually showcases my voice, which sounds worse than Minnie Mouse. I had a paralyzed vocal cord before I got on the patches and I couldn't talk. And the doctor told me you need to go exercise. So I told Mark, show him how well I exercise. Now I'm in bed for 2 more days after that. So that's the reason
Wow.
why we took that video, because he kept telling me you need to exercise. And I'm like, oh gosh, we since don't have that doctor. Obviously we found many good practitioners that are holistic. So.
Well, you are truly blessed, and we can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing. And of course, it's all only going to get better. And we
Yes.
hope that you'll come back and share again.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you,
Bless
Sylvia,
you.
so much. You're amazing. You're amazing. So, Dr. Staci, wow, we haven't done this before, and almost 500 people on here, and I'm sure there's a lot of them wondering, how can this be?
Laura, I am beyond floored by these testimonials. When this idea came to me a few days ago and we started texting these ladies and they were sharing their testimonials, it's one thing to read something or to look at a couple pictures or a video, but it's another thing to hear your words, your experiences, your heart, what you dealt with for a period of time, a long period of time. That's a lot. And I know there are a lot of people out here tonight, and there'll be a lot watching the replay that are dealing with a lot. And you're thinking, where's the end? Like, what's going to happen? Am I going to get over this? Or is this my life until I die? And of course, like you said earlier, Laura, we're not making any claims to treat or cure anything at all, right? But with that being said, I have to tell you about this technology and how this works and how this is really helping everyone, no matter what's going on with them, because that's what this Zoom is about. This is about saying, hey, you know what? No matter what it is, A to Z, no matter what's happening with you, right? I'm sitting here with Charlene, who has just the same mind-blowing testimonial. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain level? 12, right? I mean, people that don't want to be here anymore because of the excruciating factors that they're dealing with. And yet, because of this little patch, they have their life back. And that's what this is about. No, we haven't done this before. We've never done this on a Tuesday night, but I felt like for some reason it was really important for everyone to hear from these people that have real personal experiences and testimonials that are really life-changing. And we all know people we love, we care about, we really want to help them with this. And I feel like tonight's testimonials will be able to help you to be able to better help other people to understand what this is, how it works. So we're going to do that real quickly. If you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We have Tammy, we have Mariah, we have Sylvia. They're happy to answer any questions that you have for them. Put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer questions. Laura is here to answer questions as well. Charlene may have a question or two she'll answer for you also on the spot. But let's talk about this technology, okay? What are these women wearing that is changing their lives? This is it. It is literally a little round Band-Aid. It is sticky on one side and smooth on the other. This is a non-transdermal patch. You're very familiar with transdermal patches, nicotine patches, birth control patches, pain patches, hormone, weight loss patches. You're familiar with that. Everyone is. Those are transdermal. They put a medicine, a chemical, an herb, a nutrient, something into the body via the skin. This technology does not work that way. So we bypass your traditional ways of being able to help the body. Okay? So non-transdermal, safe, nothing entering the body, a wearable light technology. What does that mean? What does that mean? Light technology. You guys know light. We've all been out in the sun, right? We went boating yesterday. We're in the sun. The sun's rays hit our skin. We're loving our environment. We skirted the rain, which is fantastic. But that sun elevates inside of our body vitamin D and melanin. That's why we have the dark color to our skin, right? Greek goddess. Ready to hit Greece?
Absolutely.
Next month,
Absolutely.
we're going to be heading to Greece, all of us, right? In 3 weeks and 3 days or whatever it is. I don't know the counter right now. But light that hits our skin creates change inside of the body. You guys have been in, maybe or maybe not, maybe you've heard of or you know about an infrared sauna, right? Light from the infrared sauna hits your skin. You don't see it or feel it, but it creates change. I know you all know about lasers, laser technology, laser therapy, red light, blue light. Light creates change. Wavelengths of light that hit the skin, you don't see or feel, create change. This is very similar in that it uses light, but we don't need an outside source. We don't need the sun. We don't need a laser. We don't need a sauna. We are the power source. Put your hand on your chest. You're about 98.6-ish degrees, unless you live in Florida, where we are right now, where it's that literally in the morning when you wake up. So by the afternoon, you're at a heat index of, I don't know, 105 or 10. So it's hotter down here, but 100-ish degrees is what our body is emitting at any given day. That heat or light is measurable. We can see that right now here on the East Coast. It's dark. I can't see outside. I can't see an animal or a person down the street unless I had night vision goggles. Night vision goggles, then I can see thermal imaging of the animal or the person, right? The heat coming off of their body or light emitting from their body. So when I put this patch on, this patch works with my body's own light. I am the power source, not the sun, not the sauna, not the laser. I am. So if you understand that, this is super easy and simple. If you don't understand that, it's okay. It's still super easy and simple. When I get up in the morning, I put my patch on. I can put it on the back of my neck. I can put it below my belly button. I can stick it here. I can put it anywhere I want. You guys, people message me every day. What patch is on your chest? Whichever one I pick up out of my bag. That's the patch that's on my chest. I put my patches on. I always put them down below my belly button. I'm busy. I'm in a hurry. Boom, 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 boom. I drop them right below my belly button. But for you to see, I always grab whichever one I want out of my package. Well, tonight it's X39, the patch that activates those master cells we're going to talk about here in just a minute. So when I put this patch on, I put it on in the morning when I get up. I leave it on 12 hours. During that day, this patch is elevating a very specific peptide, GHKCU copper peptide. We don't have a lot of time to get into what that peptide does, But I do have a book that I think you all should definitely grab if you don't have it yet. And that is, well, two books actually. I feel like you should grab this book by Dr. Lauren Picard, which is all about GHK. This is 53 years of information and research on the benefits of GHK to help the body. Dr. Lauren Picard passed away last year. He should have earned a Nobel Peace Prize for his research in discovering the peptide GHK. That peptide, again, 53 years ago, way before the patch, is what we call the fountain of youth. Okay? So this is a huge book, fantastic. Pick this up on Amazon. Well, our very own Dr. Harmon, who's a chiropractor, if you guys are going to be in Orlando with us this weekend, he's on our doctor's panel. He has written this book here recently in the last couple years, How to Reverse Aging with GHK. So he will talk to you about all the benefits that Dr. Lauren Picard discovered and all the benefits that this patch has for elevating GHK, what that does in your body. So let's just take a little peek real quick. We have a few minutes. Laura, you okay if I take a peek into this table of
I
contents?
say we have plenty of time for you to peek away.
Peek away. So let's talk about the role of copper peptides and the immune system. Boosting the immune system is a huge benefit of this patch. Also, the skin. Laura, I know you and I have had great changes in our skin. You would never believe that I'll be 50 in a couple months. Laura's going to be 62 in a couple months.
Yep.
We are experiencing the benefits of reverse aging with our skin because of GHK. GHK is called the fountain of youth. I don't know if you're interested in the fountain of youth. I am. I want the fountain of youth. I want to, whatever I can do to help my skin look and feel its youngest and best throughout my entire life. GHK has definitely reversed my skin over the last 3+ years. Let's talk about GHK and the benefits of the cardiovascular system. Do you realize we have a clinical study? Laura can put the link in the chat. The clinical study states that every 6 weeks using X39, this patch right here, your cardiovascular system, your entire vascular system becomes 8 weeks younger, functioning younger than it did 6 weeks before. I don't know about you, but knowing that heart disease is the #1 killer on the planet, anything I can do to improve my cardiovascular system, I'm in. We know the benefits of GHK with exercise and athletic performance. We can see how it improves oxygenation, circulation, be able to help the body recover faster, reduce inflammation. GHK benefits with metabolic regulation. If you are online at all, if you're following anyone on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, they're all talking about metabolic health. What is happening with your metabolism? What are those markers? What can you do to improve your metabolic health? GHK can improve your metabolic regulation. We also see improvements with copper peptides and the brain. Laura, you and I did a 4-part series with Dr. Don Verholst, who's on your team. He's a medical doctor, back in November. It's on my YouTube channel. Please feel free to go check it out. But he talks all about how GHK benefits the brain. We can see in our clinical studies changes as early as 6 weeks using the patches. Using this patch, 6 weeks improves your cardiovascular system, your neurological system. Huge changes. Cognitive function, neurodegeneration, the healing power. Did you guys see me last Tuesday? Callie's joining us tonight. Did you see me last Tuesday interviewing Dr. Adam Shiner, who's here in Tampa, Florida, who's a plastic surgeon? Reduction in healing time, 40% from his patients using the X39, pre-surgery, post-surgery. He actually requires a total of 7 months now because of what he has seen happen with his patients over the last year and a half. GHK and activating stem cells for regeneration. I don't know about you guys. I've been into stem cell therapy for over 20 years. as a way to be able to help the body get into balance, repair, rejuvenate, regenerate, all the things that are damaged. Stem cells are the holy grail of healing, right, Laura? What did we say to
Absolutely.
you? Let's go. Let's
Absolutely.
go listen to David Schmidt. Let's hear about him talk about stem cell regeneration, his research, what he's done in stem cells over his career, and how we can help our bodies be able to get into balance and stay in balance. X39, GHK helps with epigenetics. It helps with all different types of ways to be able to help the body get into balance. Grab this book on Amazon if you haven't yet. But at the end of the day, what you need to know is you get up in the morning, you put this patch on, you leave this patch on 12 hours, you take it off and you throw it away. You can put it on your dog. This dog right here is 2 years old. She does not need a patch yet, okay? My 6-year-old, I've honestly been patching here recently on and off a couple times a week, but the 2-year-old, she does not need any more energy or rejuvenation, I'll be honest with you. She is spry as a little pup is, right? So for you, no matter what your age is, your goal is to put this on in the morning, leave it on 12 hours, stay super hydrated, half your body weight in ounces at least. Get your Celtic sea salt every day. I'm a huge proponent of dark chocolate, clean, healthy dark chocolate. Get a square of that every day to make sure your copper is in check in your body, and you're going to have the fantastic results with our patches as long as you stay consistent. Every single day, day after day, week after week, month after month. You know, Laura, people ask us all the time, well, how long do I have to patch? I don't want to patch for the rest of my life. You know, stop patching when you want to start aging. I just told you that I'm half my chronological age based on blood work and testing. So is Laura. I don't know. So is Leah, right? Charlene, already on her path to that as well, too. Just a little over a year into using the patches. Why did we keep patching? Because we feel great. You heard these ladies, right? They have their lives back. We feel great. It's not just about vanity. I mean, it is a little bit, but it is about what's happening on the inside. And Laura, you know as well as I know, because you cured yourself of stage 3 breast cancer 6 years ago. You know how important it is to take care of yourself holistically, all naturally, however we can, to be able to make sure that we keep and maintain that homeostasis inside of the body. So, Laura, I want you to wrap us up tonight because you put this all together, orchestrated all these fantastic women to be able to bring them together tonight to share their personal testimonials with everyone. So, wrap us up this evening.
Absolutely.
Give your final comments and words of wisdom to everyone.
Oh, wow. You know, I sit here and I listen to Dr. Staci rather often, and it blows my mind every day. And we've been in here now for 3 years. And I can tell you, after hearing these ladies tonight, which shared their heart, this is too easy not to use. It is so easy and so small, but carries such massive weight. And to put something on every single day and just go about your business and take it off before you climb into bed, there's no reason not to. And the fact that I really want you guys to know that it is a affordable thing. Everybody has access to this. And that was very important to our founder, our CEO, David Schmidt. That was a top-notch consideration for him. So I encourage you to get back to the person that invited you here tonight. They obviously really care about you and wanted to share these testimonies with you. So let them customize for you. Let them get started to your needs, be it prevention, be it you want to take on maybe some health goals. So we want you guys to always know that we are here every Tuesday. You might not ever know what you're going to get, but I can guarantee you it's going to be phenomenal. So I hope all of you have an incredible week. Dr. Staci, thank you for allowing me to be on here with you this evening. Charlene, always a pleasure. I can't wait to squeeze you. Everybody go have an amazing week. Remember your patches in the morning, and we will see you very, very soon. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Mariah. We appreciate you all. And we look forward to seeing you all very soon at an event.